Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What is going on? It's your boy, President Fat Samurai Guy, hanging out in another episode of the Movie Dojo podcast, baby. Hanging out with my brother, Brandon. That's right. Filmmaker, director, musician. He's done it all. Actor. Welcome to the
Yeah,
show, brother.
apparently driver too.
Yeah, he's a
Doing everything.
Yeah, man. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, thank you. This has been feels like a long time coming now.
Hey, better late than never, brother. Better late than
Absolutely.
never, man. And I know you have a extremely busy schedule, so I'm so happy to have you pop in here for a couple of minutes. We're going to be talking movies and the upcoming Arena Wars, baby. That's right. We're going to get to that. Going to play the trailer and have some fun with that. But really quickly, brother, man, Dissection. That's got to be one of the coolest band names of all time, baby. Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah. So how did you get into the music biz, my friend? Industrial metal and just
yeah.
industrial metal.
So this was like 25 years ago. And there's been whispers it's making a little reunion since a lot of our friends have also gotten back together also in our geriatric ages. But I guess Gen X was the last generation to really rock the fuck out of things.
Hell,
So
yeah, son. That's right. That's right.
but yeah, so my dad was a roadie in the 70s. My mom was a classical musician. So, of course that was the formula for me to do like groove metal, new metal, industrial metal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I had played in a few other bands before I started my own. Actually, one of them played shows with Masumi Max, who just passed away, the performance artist. Rest in peace. But yeah, Dissection I started in 1999, did a bunch of demos, eventually put a band together. And I used to, I don't know, this is before, the internet made things seem easy to people, where you actually had to like go to shows, hand out demos. And I don't mean hand out demos in front of Walmarts like people do these days, but I mean like actually go to the show, wait for the band to come out after they were done or whatever, and try to get word around and develop buzz. Eventually, one of the bands that I had befriended actually got back to me, and that was Static X. Also, rest in peace, Wayne Static,
Yes.
who was a very good friend and one of my first mentors, and probably the first like famous person, if you want to use that terrible word, that was nice. That was nice to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, he helped us develop the band and get out there, and we played a few interesting shows and big shows. And unfortunately, being that we were all very young, the band didn't last. But now with the encouragement of my drummer Brad and James from a band called Crossbreed from the same era, because of their encouragement and kind of like, let's do it. The band is coming back probably later in the year.
Yeah, and I'm excited, brother. I'm excited.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been
Yeah, that little leak I put. So that's going to be the name of an EP that we release in a couple of months.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's go. I'm excited, man. I heard a couple of songs, couple of tracks, and I'm like, oh, this is my era. This is right.
Yeah.
This is right up Samurai Guy's alley. Let's fucking go. But yeah, man, as soon as this drops,
yeah, it's a bit evolved now. We now use 8-string guitars tuned even lower. It's like a combination of groove guitar riffs, hip hop beats, and death metal blast beats. So you'll just have to see.
Things I love. All three things I love. Let's fucking go. Yeah. So everybody watching right now, keep an eye out for Dissection's return. Oh yeah, man. So how did you get into the acting business, man? Because look at all this. I mean, you have been in a plethora of so many horror
that
films.
one in the bottom right haunts me to this day.
Pinky Killers.
Yeah, so it originally had a different name, of course, and that thing played on Showtime and HBO forever. And I'm in some compromising positions in it, so of course, people would ask me about that. But yeah, I had wanted to work in movies really since I saw Star Wars as a wee lad, like so many of us did. And I really didn't have any other since I was a little kid, I really didn't have any other goal or anything other than that. I mean, music I think is sort of hand in hand with it. It's still part of performance and putting on a show.
Right.
So it really all I ever really wanted to do in some degree was storytelling.
Nice. Copy that. Look at this guy. Yeah, look at that guy on the right. Look at that handsome guy. Yeah, got the gun out. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Well, that's
look at that gun that has the obvious silver plug in it too.
you gotta rock what you're working with, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And there were some superhero shorts you were involved in as well. You played the Question. How cool
Yeah.
is that, man? You're perfect to play the Question. And
Yeah,
you did
that was
Scarecrow as well, right?
that was a friend back in the day who's sort of known for fan films, and I was trying to stay out of them. And if memory serves, somehow he talked me into that one. And
Yeah.
I think I've been the only like live action face of that character.
Yeah, I was just
As
getting
far
ready
as
to
I
ask
know, I don't
that.
really keep up with the CW stuff or anything like that. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you may be the first, man. How cool is that? Yeah. Copy that. Jack and Jill. Look at that. Look at that.
These are deep cuts. That's like 14 years ago, I think.
Oh yeah. Like Samurai Guy likes to start from the beginning, but we're gonna reach up to it. But yeah, there's so many projects you've been a part of, man. You have Entity here.
That's a Sci-Fi Channel movie. It was so was that one actually. Biohazard was the Japanese name, because Resident Evil is called Biohazard there.
Right.
But yeah, that one's actually kind of more of an action movie than a
Nice.
sci-fi movie. Yeah.
Looking pretty badass there, my friend. That's right.
Yeah, I was trying to pretend like I didn't know how to actually handle the gun, because that character wouldn't. So like the first few takes, I like got it and cleaned it properly and everything, and
Yeah.
that one, I'm like, okay, let's get it and try not to want to hold it. And
Yeah, copy that. This project right here, The Family, man, there's some heavy hitters in here. Tony Todd, Kane Hodder. How was it being part of this project?
And actually, I don't know if she was on, her name was on there, but Catherine Parker, who was in The Haunting of Hill House and a few other things, and kind of stole that series. That was one of her first. She was in Doctor Sleep as well. That was one of her first. That was interesting. The production's a little weird, and I don't want to say anything will get me in too much trouble. But originally, it was written that Tony, Kane, and Michael and myself all fought in the end. And yeah,
that would have been awesome.
That's not in the movie.
Oh.
I got to be really good friends with those guys, especially Kane, who I kind of lost touch with, but he's a good friend. Yeah. The way it ends now, spoilers, is Tony, actually Kane kills Berryman randomly for no reason, and then Tony and Kane face each other, and then they see a porn star in the corner and get burned.
Wow.
That's happened. Because that's so much better for the audience that would rent the movie, right?
Copy that.
You notice my tone suddenly changed when talking about that decision.
Exactly.
But when the producer's in love with a porn star, that's what happens.
Copy that. Well, that's cool. You got at least to hang out and meet and work with some legends, though. At least. Yeah. How was it working with William Kaufman? This is one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, he and actually that whole group, I guess we're kind of a, unofficial clique, just we're all friends. We all help each other out. I actually worked on a movie that never got released called Shotgun Kiss that Will was sort of the producer and guiding hand on and became the director of. And it got into some issues with the script and was ultimately never finished and released. But we always, and this was before Sinners and Saints too, by the way, which was Breakout. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we all stayed friends over the years, and I actually learned how to shoot action from his DP, who didn't do that movie but did all his other movies, Mark Rutledge.
Nice.
So yeah, we obviously I knew Chad from there. And we've all just stayed good friends and supported each other over the years.
Copy that. Yeah, I had the honor of interviewing William Kaufman and Matt Rutledge last year. Yeah, great guys. Is this the first time you ran into Louis Mandalore, the great Louis Mandalore?
Oh man, that guy! I just can't get rid of that guy. I met him. I was put in touch with him through actually Sinners and Saints editor. for a project. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember the details and get them right.
Yeah, no worries.
He put Russell White is the editor. He had edited Lewis's movie that Diana Inosanto directed. I think The Sensei, I believe, is the name. I was trying to find someone who would be good for the certain role in the script that I was trying to get done at the time when I was just acting and didn't quite know I'd totally leap into directing. The script was never made. It was called The Avenged. It was basically like, what if someone was tried to actually be a vigilante or a superhero or a Batman type.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was originally, thinking of Costas, his brother, for this particular role, but then Russell had suggested Lewis, who was known more at the time for, I guess, martial law. I mean, we all know it, but it was kind of a cult thing, right?
Yeah.
With him and Sammo Hung and Russell Wong was in it too. But at the time, Lewis is known more for the original Big Fat Greek Wedding movie. And so I
Right.
remember we had like a random call. God, this was probably in like 2006 or so. And we just hit it off immediately. And then we eventually met for real in when I lived in the New York City area in Queens. There's actually a picture if you look deep enough, that's he and I, Lewis and I, when he had bleached hair, as he does sometimes,
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
dinner with Marty Cove, but long before like Cobra Kai kind of like put him back in the public
Wow.
eye, at like the Queens International Film Festival or something.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I actually showed Lewis that picture when we were shooting Saipan. He's like, "Oh my God, how long have you known me?" Um, but yeah, I think that's
That's
the
pretty good
first
Lewis
official
impression
thing
there.
that. Yeah, I think that's the first like official thing we were in together.
Nice, nice. Copy that. Yeah, he's one of the great ones, man, for sure, for sure.
Yeah,
But man, you've done so many movies directing wise here, and I have not seen this yet, but the
yeah,
trailer I was like all in, man, because I love movies that start off a certain way, a certain
yeah,
genre, and then it
yeah,
just turns into something else. I love that stuff. That's why I have
yeah,
the Predator poster behind me up here because I love that stuff,
yeah.
So
Actually, Chad Law had said that Attack of the Unknown reminded him of Predator 2, which is very
ah,
much in DNA, where it starts with like a drug bust and it turns into something else over the course of the movie, and that was pretty intentional.
nice, nice. Yeah, that's on the list. There's a majority of your movies are on my list to catch up, but I did watch a few of them, and I was like, I really enjoyed them, which I'll get to in a second here. Song of the Shattered. What's this project about?
That was picked up by a company called York Entertainment, who I think hasn't been in business for years, and I believe they put it on like one of those, Walmart 10 horror movies for one packs that they put in
Yep.
the dump bins. But I don't know if it ever got a release beyond that. I don't even know who owns the rights.
Oh wow.
Um, it,
Is that thriller
that's a movie
horror?
about
Or?
it's kind of a revenge story about domestic violence.
Oh, okay. Copy that. Copy
Yeah.
that. But going through your IMDb here, man, congratulations on all these awards you've won here for the House of Manson. Look at all these awards. I mean, that's congrats. And they got Angels of Action winner, best feature for Escape from Ensenada.
Yeah.
You have this one is on my list as well to check out. Frost,
Yeah.
best thriller, best horror film. Congrats, man.
Well, thank you. Frost actually was our COVID movie, so it
Ooh,
wasn't something of my like mental concoction, but and I was kind of iffy about making it. But first off, it was COVID and hadn't,
yeah.
we lost a lot of time, and the ending's something to be witnessed.
Oh wow. Well,
That's
good.
all I can say.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I
And
put that
actually,
in queue.
you mentioned the Ensenado Award. That was actually at Urban Action Showcase in
Yeah.
Manhattan. And those are great guys. Actually, they just opened a AVOD channel like Tubi just for action movies.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I've had
Demetrius
Demetrius.
Angelo,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've had Demetrius on the show a couple of times, and I was actually a part of the Urban Action Showcase last year, at least interviewing the future guests that will be there
Yeah,
in person. The goal, I don't know if I could be able to pull it off, but the goal is to be there in person this year. We'll see.
yeah,
Hopefully that works out. I would love to actually be there in person. But yeah, man, congrats. Congrats.
yeah.
And again, going back to, whoops, he popped out. There we go. He's
Oh,
back.
I'm back.
He's
Yeah.
back. The legend's back. All right. Speaking of projects of similar to like Predator and Attack of the Unknown, we got The Flood here, and I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, I think that was around the time where I reached out to you. I was like, I got to
Yeah,
talk to this brother, man. This looks like
yeah,
right up my alley. I haven't seen it yet.
yeah. That's one that actually Chad Law wrote with Josh Ridgway, who has become his kind of like co-conspirator on a number of things. Chad calls it Assault on Precinct 13 meets Crawl meets Hard Rain. And let me
Perfect.
tell you, shooting in artificial rain in an artificial flooded environment is probably tougher than shooting in an actual flood.
I
It
bet.
was a ridiculously tough shoot because that element of water is so hard to actually control. And like the gigantic rain machines and everything you see on a movie, we had those, except you usually see them on $100 million movies, not $1.7 million
Yeah.
movies or whatever the budget was. So anytime we would do these awesome shots of like these prisoners being led into the police station in rain, we would have to wait while everything reset. And so it was a really interesting filming experience in the way that I'm used to kind of ducking and weaving and going. But the water was always in his trailer. We had to knock on his door and wait for him. And there was a lot of hurry up and wait, and so that actually kind of messed with me for a while because
Oh wow.
I'm used to having like a really high shooting ratio. I like to keep the adrenaline going, keep everyone in it and happy.
Yeah.
But with that, everything would grind to a halt just because we were waiting for the water.
Copy that. Copy that. Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list. And then Lewis is also in this as well. And the great Casper Van Dien,
Yeah,
who I actually interviewed last year as well.
yeah,
But this one, man, I definitely got the Die Hard vibes, man,
yeah,
for Breakout.
yeah,
And Louis, you give Lewis a knife, run for your fucking life. Like
yeah,
you run. You give him a knife, it's time to run.
yeah, yeah. That and Battle for Saipan are actually my two personal favorites.
Nice.
But yeah, they're both and Breakout especially simple story, but and obviously that general scenario has been done a lot. But if you put interesting actors in it and give them an interesting dynamic, hopefully you still have something.
Yes.
Um, and while you still play the tropes of the guy on the outside, the cynical villain, and everything, but Lewis and actually Christos Andrews, who played his son in it, who's there on the left on the cover,
Yes.
he's actually a soap star, had this great chemistry that I think makes you really care about what's going on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it, and the villain, I enjoyed the villain too. And
Yeah,
I've talked about this with so many filmmakers and actors and directors that I've had here on the channel. I've always brought this up to where having an interesting villain
mhm.
really can save your movie because how many great action movies are out there and you can't remember the villain?
Yeah. Well,
Unfortunately,
how many Marvel movies are there now that didn't have Thanos
exactly.
or yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
or Michael
yeah,
B.
yeah,
Jordan?
yeah.
Um,
Quantum
however,
of
how many,
Solace. Does anybody remember the villain from Quantum of Solace? No.
I actually do.
You
I
do.
actually do.
Oh,
It's that little guy.
it's that little guy.
And that's all I can say about it. But yeah, you barely actually. I would actually argue you don't really remember Rami Malek too well in the final one. Maybe I'm wrong.
He
Maybe
was he was
someone
wasted a
else can
little bit.
say, yeah.
He was kind of
Um,
wasted a little bit in
yeah,
that one.
and again, aside from Thanos, aside from like Michael B. Jordan and name escapes me, Loki, you
Yeah,
don't remember a lot of the Marvel villains.
right.
And
No,
I know that's
you're right.
been written about a lot, but you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Copy that. And they're still
yeah,
having issues with that right now.
yeah.
Actually.
Well, this little trailer a couple of days ago hopefully saves their entire franchise.
Yeah,
So
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Fingers
yeah,
crossed for
so
that one. Fingers
see.
crossed. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember Tony Leung in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
a lot of
That
that was because, hey, the guy from Hard Boiled is in a Marvel movie. But
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that was a good one. That flew over my head for some reason. But yeah,
yeah,
it's Tony Lung, so
yeah.
he's gonna make the cut
But
because
yeah, you got to
he's
have
the man.
a good villain, and you got to have one that you get kind of guilty about it, but you have to relate to him in a way.
Right, right.
Um, and you have to start to agree with him. So Brian Krause's character Max in Breakout um, the first writer, Robert, actually wrote him pretty close to what's in the movie. And I added a few things just to make sure the audience, would kind of find themselves going along with him. And at one point, you even see that, like, Lewis kind of validates what his cause is. Lewis's character's like, "Hey, man, I get you, but
Yeah.
you can't do this." So
Right.
those are the most effective villains when you can easily relate to them, like them, and put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. How was it working with Tom Sizemore?
So people say a lot about Tom, obviously. Breakout ended up being his first posthumous movie. So when it came out, I was asked, "What's it like to have his first posthumous movie?" I'm like, "Well, I didn't plan it,
Mm.
um, obviously, because you can't predict the future." Like I said, people would say a lot about Tom. We had Tom during a good time, and he was great to work with. You could really see how he had the career that he had. For instance, he wasn't given one of his scenes by accident. I don't know who cares. And we handed him like 3 pages of dialogue, and he looks at it for maybe 5 seconds, and he has it. Like it was his
Wow.
prowess in absorbing things and making it better was like uncanny. So he had one of those one in a million careers. Unfortunately, things happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's no longer with us.
Right.
But yeah, we had a great time with him. He he knew Lewis and Costas from way back in the day when they were all fresh in LA from Australia. So I heard a lot of stories I probably shouldn't have, but Lewis doesn't deny them.
Yeah.
But no, he was great to have, and I'm fortunate that we I got to have that time with him.
Yeah. It's cool that he was a part of your film, and he is. He's been in some classic movies, man.
Mhm.
He's a talented actor.
Yeah.
But I'm still again. I got a lot of homework to do. I got a lot of movies to watch. I do have this, baby. What?
Ooh,
Oh
look at that.
yeah. Woo! 3 days in Malaya. I had to go ahead and buy this on Blu-ray. And Lewis did a great job directing this. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed you in it. You were great in the film, but I was surprised by Donald Cerrone's performance.
Yeah,
He actually put, yeah,
yeah, he's good in it. He brings a lot of so writing this character. I knew that it was always going to be him, so I tailored it to him kind of uh, in the beginning. It was always like sculptured, like kind of around his persona.
yeah,
But there's some things in there, like some sensitive parts that I put in that he really does well with.
yeah.
So
I was really impressed. I highly
yeah,
recommend everybody watching. Make sure you guys go out and buy 3 days in Malay. My man here wrote the script for this project as well as Black Mass.
yep,
That's a cool badass cover right there. When is this
yes,
coming out?
that comes out February 27th. So looking at watch here, what's that, like 2 weeks? Yeah, it's 2 weeks from
Yeah,
today. Yeah. So
nice.
this is it's a true crime serial killer movie, kind of um from the same sort of viewpoint as like Gus Van Sant's movies. He did these three sort of avant-garde movies. One was called Elephant, which was about the Columbine massacre. It's kind of in that vein. So
Okay,
it's different. It's not like a killer stalking anyone.
a slasher
So
movie kind of thing.
right. So you
Right.
see these really, you see the intent was to kind of take the focus off of this killer who I'll let people figure out who it is. If you know anything about the case, you probably already know from the title of the movie. And it's not Whitey Bulger. Um, it's someone else that was referred to as the Black Mass.
Right.
Um, but the idea was to take the like celebrity away from the killer and make you see just the kind of the mundane day-to-day lives of the victims and what was right around the corner that you could never predict. There could be someone coming to stab me and I don't know.
Right.
Um,
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, it's a different take that
Okay.
I think people will dig because even though it has kind of this unusual uh, point of view, it doesn't dawdle it and doesn't mess around. It's
Right.
comes in, does its job, and it's done.
Copy that. Copy that. All right. I'm looking forward to watching that. February 27th, everyone. Make sure you check out Black Mass and make sure you buy your copy. 3 days in Malay. I have a question. I'm going to segue back to 3 days in
Yeah.
Malay. But again, like I was saying earlier, I got a lot of homework to do. I'm catching up watching your movies. But as of right now, son, as of right now, this is my favorite movie of yours, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
This movie, you know, I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest, but I'm going to be honest. This made me mad. This made me mad because I saw the trailer and I was like, "Ooh, Casper Van Dien, Louis Mandalore war film. Hell yeah, I'm down." I saw the trailer, but I had absolutely no idea of the action style and fight choreography that was in it. And when I saw,
you're gonna get me going here because I think I told you before. I have a lot of opinions about just that.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about it. It's up to you.
It was originally called The Raid on Cipon, so that's kind of how I pitched the movie. The producers had already they had a deal with Cipon Films to make like X, Y, and Z. So it's the same producers as The Flood, so they had sold like this action gator creature movie.
Right.
They just needed a war movie, so I pitched them an idea that was essentially The Raid, but in Saipan.
Right.
But it was this sort of close quarters, just brutal thing, and it's also it is very loosely based on a couple of actual incidents. Anyone who's a World War historian can probably has heard about a certain, I won't say his name because we couldn't do a direct adaptation, but a dentist who actually really did sort of sit down there with the Gatling gun and knives and take out a bunch of enemy soldiers. That is a true story. Of course, we couldn't do a straight adaptation, so I did an action movie that was set in against the war.
Yeah.
And I knew that Lewis was going to be in it. I knew that Casper is actually his sensei is one of his closest friends, Mark Dacascos. I knew that obviously they had skills. We had Fahey there, kind of as the heart and soul of the movie.
Yeah.
So to me, I made just a balls to the wall martial arts movie set against World War II, kind of like Wolf Warrior or something. It's an action movie against another conflict. Then you see the trailer and it's this patriotic hoorah bullshit. And I'm not saying that's bad, but the trailer has nothing to do with the movie. And no offense to Saban, but I believe it was completely inherently mismarketed to grumpy war guys who were just going to give it a bad reputation, on the internet, when it completely missed its audience.
I couldn't believe it. It wasn't until you posted your clip on Facebook and Instagram, and then I came across it and I was like, whoa, this movie has this kind of action and fight choreography in it. Like I couldn't believe it. And it's very martial arts action inspired, kind of like The Raid. But it's not like Louis Mandalore is doing drunken boxing or anything like that.
No, it's Casper's doing dirty, brutal stuff.
Snake and Crane. It's not that kind of martial arts, but straight up brutality. But let me tell you something, everybody watching right now. This was phenomenal. Not just the action, but I enjoy the story, the few against many. That always works for me. And the performances from Louis and Casper were phenomenal, man. And is there a Blu-ray of this or just DVD?
I have a Blu-ray that I think came from Germany.
Okay, I'll pick other regions.
So if you're able to import things and have region free, you can get a Blu-ray.
Okay, cool.
I think in the US it's just a very short run DVD and then VOD.
Okay. Well, that's going to go to the collection. I got to get that on Blu-ray. But here's a little snippet for you guys watching. A little taste, just a couple of seconds, just a little snippet of some of the action that is in Battle for Cipon. Let's check it out. Yeah.
Yes.
Lewis
See,
with the knife,
that's what
man.
the movie's about.
Yeah,
Is these people joining together to fuck shit up?
yeah,
Um, and it's not meant to be Saving Private Ryan, which I think is what the trailer makes you think of, a really low budget Saving Private Ryan, and that's not
right,
what it's supposed to be at all. So
right.
again, I feel like a big opportunity was missed here with a specific audience. So hopefully one day, whether it's through Lewis and I getting the word out, or people
Yeah,
that are interested in one of us, or Casper, or Jeff, hopefully it continues to be discovered and its correct audience finds it.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, you got guys like me helping to spread the word. So you
Thank you.
guys, right now, I'm telling you, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. You can
Mhm.
watch it on Tubi. Buy the DVD. Buy the Blu-ray. Show support. I know my shit. I
Mhm.
know my martial arts and action movies, and I highly recommend Battle for Cipon, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
And what's interesting is, did you use a lot of handheld
Yeah.
camera work? What's really interesting about that is one of my biggest pet peeves with a lot of action and martial arts movies is they use too much shaky cam, or there's too much quick cut editing, and you don't see the fighting. What's interesting is you're using the handheld, but you can
Mhm.
still see all of the movement, all of the combat, which I
Yeah.
really appreciated, man. Please
Yeah.
keep doing that.
The DP, Nico De La Ferry, I forget how he pronounces it. Sorry, Nico. He's actually in Brazil, shooting a movie with Scott Adkins and our friend Marco, that just
Yeah.
started yesterday, called Diablo. But yeah, Battle for Saipan, or Raid on Saipan, was Nico's first feature film, and he learned how to shoot action from a friend that did all the previs for like Marvel movies and stuff like that. So
Nice.
he really has an innate sense of action, and he's someone who, when we started talking, you expect to have to say, okay, let's do this and this, these are my rules, this is how I want to shoot. I really just said a few words and he understood what I was going for, like, exactly. That it's just this sort of like, this Asian action style mixed with some anime,
Yeah.
mixed with some Michael Bay and Ridley Scott,
Mm-hmm.
all in one. And he
Yeah.
like, boom, like got that immediately. So he also shot The Flood, and he shot 3 days. He shot another movie that I wrote that Lewison directed, called Operation Blood Hunt, with Jonathan Rhys Meyers, and he also shot this other movie that may have helped him get the job he's on now. I wonder what I wonder who's involved in that. Um, Probably a large Latino villain from John Wick 4.
You mean this guy right here? What?
Yeah, yeah. Look at those guys. Look at those guys.
What?
They look
Look at
so
this.
innocent.
Yeah, I know when you posted this, I'm like, holy shit, you're doing a project with Marco Zaror. He's another legend I've interviewed several times. I'm
He's also
so
not that much taller than me, by the way. That's just because he took the photo.
He rigged it. Okay, all right.
Yeah, no,
But
he is a big guy, and it's actually almost inhuman how he moves like someone he moves more like Van Damme, or someone who's, Van Damme was at 5'8", 5'9". He moves like a smaller person, but he's Dolph Lundgren size.
exactly. Yeah.
And I tried to work out with him a few times, and I was, or okay. So anyway, yeah, we shot a movie already. We can't say a lot about it yet
Right.
because, anticipation and secrets,
Hmm.
but it's out there. It's on IMDb, so it's not like it's a complete secret. But yes, Lewis is in it. Nico shot it. Brahim Shab, who was Igor in Undisputed 4,
Oh,
who with
all
Scott
right.
Adkins, longtime double, who also just choreographed Dev Patel and Jordan Peele's Monkey Man, is one of the villains in it.
Ooh.
There's Man, I'm about to give stuff away. There's a fantastic couple of fights with the two of them, in this movie. So,
Oh,
the villain from Undisputed 3 and the villain from Undisputed 4
let's
opposite each
go.
other.
Let's
Yes.
fucking go, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited, and we got to get you back on the channel in the future when that comes out for
Yes.
sure. Yeah, man.
Hopefully you can get the two of us and that elusive Mandalore fellow all on it together.
He's
Probably
so
no one would
busy.
get a chance to get a word in because we'd all be too geeky and geeking out. But
Right.
yeah, Marco and I guess we met probably a year ago this week, and we became great friends, great collaborators, very much like Lewis and I.
Yeah.
So there should be more to come too.
Oh yeah, Fist of the Condor was great, and I am stoked for this. With your direction and his skill, it's going to be phenomenal for sure. But really quickly, Battle for Saipan, the fight choreography, I saw a little of that here. Was
Yeah.
it an action director?
There's a different choreographer on that one, but
A little
I think
bit.
they all came from,
A little.
yeah, they all came from the same trainer on a Sang stunt in Thailand, and they had come from, you know, Tony Jaa's mentor and everyone. They all kind of came from the same source. Actually, in Affinity, in the movie with Marco and I, we worked with Tony's fight designer and most of his stuntmen. So yes, so everyone is sort of Tony Jaa adjacent in in Bangkok, where these have been shot. But yeah, Battle for Saipan, what came from Seng Stunt, who had supervised it, and a younger choreographer named everyone in Thailand, if you're familiar, has short versions of their names. He calls himself Puay, Puay.
Right. Okay.
So like if you look him up on Instagram, it's like Poi Stunt or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, it was great seeing these guys work, because they have such they're so excited to work, and will like beat the hell out of each other with a hammer or whatever, and then hug.
Nice.
And every movie I've done there has been the same deal, with the most recent one with Marco being the one where we worked all the closest together. So like we had the fight designer from the creator and all of Tony's right-hand guys, and it was like a dream team. Yeah.
Copy that. Oh, we got Certified Badass channel members Heather and Tyler watching, showing up. Good to see you guys.
Right.
Oh, martial arts legend Chucky Curry is watching. Good to see you, brother. Good to see him. Yeah. Thanks again for watching.
If you see me squinting, it's because I'm getting old. And
hey, I guess I'm wearing them right now, man. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, we're stoked. We're really stoked for this. And I'll keep you guys in the loop. All right. Now, Arena Wars, baby. Man, I was sold already with the concept of The Running Man, which is one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, meets Super Smash TV, which is one of my favorite video games growing up. I never beat it. I always sucked at it, but I loved playing it. Yeah. I was like,
I think I may have actually beat it. At the end, you fight like a robot version of the host. I think I beat it on like the Super Nintendo, I actually had the NES version where you had to use both controllers, the Super Nintendo version and the Sega version.
Yeah, the Genesis. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought I heard a strange sound. It was probably that serial killer I predicted was going to kill me. Anyway, the same producers as Attack of the Unknown, known as the Mahal brothers. Super like excited guys, love movies, and they came to me because they'd seen the costume work this person does, and they came up with a general storyline from it. And so I took it and just ran with it. And it's basically like The Running Man if Paul Verhoeven directed it.
Oh,
so like Starship Troopers.
Give me more excited now. Yeah. All right.
It's a bit of a satire. Hopefully satire is still understood in this day and age. Hopefully, but we'll get it.
Okay,
and
cool.
And it could be it's a lot of fun, and I would tell you if it's not, even though it comes out soon.
Now, is it still coming out in June, or we're looking at a different date?
I've heard June. Heard June.
Okay, yeah. Copy that. All right, well, let's take a look at the trailer, because we love some independent cinema. We support it here on the channel. We support genre films. Now let's check out Arena Wars. Let's do it.
And welcome to the next exciting episode of Arena Wars.
Fresh batch of institutionalized gladiators fighting for their freedom.
Ready, here we go. You guys heard Perez?
I smell that.
Get back!
Those on the line. The parole board has offered you a ticket out. Win Arena Wars, win your freedom. 7 arenas with 7 of the most vicious killers the world has seen in the last decade. You make it out alive, you get to go home.
Luke Bender, you're an innocent man. Innocent man can mean big ratings.
I'll be watching.
I think it's time to audition Mr. Bender.
Go!
What was your last physical?
Cell block shower this morning. Oh yeah.
You ready for this?
Impressive showing out there tonight. You're the new fan favorite.
Are you with me?
cutie pie back for the kill.
If you want to live through this, we have to work together.
I'm watching you.
Smile for the camera, thug life.
Wow!
It's showtime!
We have to finish this.
Come on! Hell yeah!
Doesn't sound much like rehabilitation, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, that trailer. Hey, ho, what? That trailer scratched the action itch, baby. Oh, yeah. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Yeah.
I forgot how many chainsaws were in the movie. I haven't looked at it in a couple of months.
Yeah, let's do a little trailer breakdown. I mean, obviously we cannot talk spoilers, but it'd be cool to hear a little BTS from you, brother. Yeah. So, how many days did it take to? That's a great shot. How many days did it take to film the film?
That's
the movie.
Stock footage, by the way.
It looks great. It looks great, though.
17, I think.
Oh wow, nice. Yeah, this is right up my alley. I enjoy this actor. He's in Attack of the Unknown, I believe, with you.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Robert Lasardo. He goes all the way back to like old Abel Ferreira movies, like King of New York. I think he's killed in Hard to Kill and a couple other of the early like good Seagal movies.
Yeah, he's great.
He's been around.
Oh yeah, he's great for sure. Yeah, this is great. This is good stuff, man. Where are these kind of movies now? I guess this is the movie.
Yeah.
I miss these kind of movies, man. I really do.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I mean, this is basically the kind of thing that like New World and Canon and other companies were doing, in the 80s and 90s. Except, they had slightly bigger budgets because, like, 5 million back then is 500,000 now. Funny how inflation works backwards with movie budgets. Yeah, these are usually in the in theaters now folder on something like Vudu or Apple TV.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hold on one second. I think I recognize this actor here. Give me a second.
He's on a number of I think he's on Wesley Cannon's his name. I believe he's on a few like travel channel type things. He's kind of known as a collector of movie props and memorabilia.
Oh, okay, nice. Copy that. And he looks familiar. Copy that. We'll keep it rocking and rolling there. But he looks badass. Yeah, let's take a look at the gladiators. So who designed their look there?
So that group is a bunch of dorks. Plus Lasardo.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, the idea was really just to have them as basic as possible. I actually wanted red suits, but then you wouldn't see the blood, and there's a lot of blood, so we need to see it.
Right. Copy that. Yeah, we got to see that blood, man. Yeah. Look at head snapping, axe wielding. Let's go. Oh, that's a great shot right there. Yeah.
They're invisible jail cell bars. They're a force field, which he tries to punch at one point in the movie, and it shocks back at him.
I'm also getting a
is that Pretty Woman? Look at that. Looks like Pretty Woman.
Fortress with Christopher Lambert. I'm getting a little
bit. Yeah.
How was it working?
That was like what, 91, 92.
Yeah, man. I'll be taking us back to the good old days. Yeah. How was it working with Eric Roberts and Madsen?
Yeah, Madsen had a lot of fun with it. He's basically playing a demented sports announcer, but he has a little bit of heart later towards the end of the movie. But yeah, he and the guy playing the other anchor, Robert Donovan, had met a few times before. I think they had mutual friends and had like known each other from like a barbecue or something. So they had fun doing those two characters.
Nice.
Yeah.
Copy that.
And then Eric, who somehow has always known me. I think even the first time I met him at a film festival years ago, he's like, "Hey, Brandon," like, I don't know you, but okay. It's a movie about a martial arts tournament, so you have to have someone known for a martial arts tournament movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Copy that. I was just looking up some other stuff here. I knew him. The actor earlier that I'm talking about here.
He's there on the left,
Wesley Cannon.
Yes.
Yeah, we were actually in a movie together.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
But I mean, we weren't in a scene together.
Yeah.
But we're in the same movie, Las Vegas Frankenstein, directed by Tom Devlin. Yeah, he
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, I knew he looks familiar, so it's cool seeing him. Yeah, I had like a little cameo on that. But yeah, Spike Bat. Let's go.
That stuntman is named Davy Cartea, and he actually has skills kind of like some of the Asian stuntmen that I work with.
Nice.
So yeah, I hopefully I can have him like next time I shoot in the U.S., which I don't seem to a lot these days, but maybe soon.
Look at that chainsaw.
Yep.
Chainsaw stabbing. Look at it. Got the female inmate throwing down.
Yeah,
That's right.
And she's an Australian UFC fighter named Kylie Fulmer, who's badass. And plus,
nice.
I have to if I don't have Lewis in a movie, I have to have some other Australian. So it's part of my rider that there's an Australian every time. In The Flood, I had Nikki Whalen and Lewis, so
Right.
We doubled up on the Aussies. But
It's tradition now.
Yeah, she's the token Aussie.
Yeah, look at this. We got a little team up here with the Superman punch. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
That's our John Blue Superman punch.
Yeah. He's calling him out. Oh, look at that.
We actually played quite a bit with the lead character's rapport with the audience. So hopefully, since he's kind of like Neo in the Matrix, where he's very much someone that the audience can put themselves in the shoes of. So hopefully when people watch this, they'll, follow along his journey and have a good time doing it.
For sure. Does she have a katana sword or machete right here?
I asked for swords, but ended up with machetes. So it's the machete. But yeah, I did ask for katana blades, and those got lost. I don't know.
Machete works. Slice and dice. Can't wait to see her in action as well. This looks like a lot of fun, man. And going back to that's right. I'm taking us back again. Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yep.
Eating fish off of naked chicks. There you go.
Yep.
Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren line there.
That's exactly his. What is it at the end? He's like, I want to go back and eat fish off those naked chicks. Which Brandon Lee, I guess, was playing like an Uber bro or something. Yeah. Brandon, his character, no, he wasn't Kenner. Kenner was Dolph, who I assume was called Kenner because he looks like Ken from Barbie.
Yeah.
What was Brandon Lee's character's name in Showdown in Little Tokyo?
What's going on right here? Or is this a spoiler?
So if you try to escape, you're dead. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Battle Royale style. I got you. Nice.
I've actually never seen Battle Royale. Ooh.
Oh, you'll love it, man. This is right up your alley. I think you'll love it. Do not watch the sequel. It's terrible. I love the. It's really bad.
Sequel.
Love the camera work right there, man. It's great.
Spinning. I've started to put those in movies. There's a great one in Cipon, actually, when Lewis, I think, knuckles someone's throat.
Yeah. This looks like an absolute blast. This looks like a lot of fun, man. Right up my alley for sure.
It's kind of intentionally gaudy. Like, you notice it's a lot brighter and have more heavily saturated than a lot of the other things I've been doing. But that's the tone of it. So
yeah, for sure, man. That's right. Even Chucky's like looking great. He's liking what he's seeing there, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yo, Arena Wars coming out hopefully in June. I'll keep you guys posted. Phenomenal, my friend. And I don't want to keep you too much because I know you're crazy busy. I could talk to you about movies all day, brother.
Yeah. Like I said, we need to do another one in better, like less busy circumstances, and get Marco, get Lewis.
Let's do it.
Maybe bring that other guy that Marco's shooting a movie with.
Yeah.
Get Chad Law on it. Fuck it. We'll just go nuts.
Fuck it. Let's get nuts, baby. Yeah.
Oh God, that would be ridiculous. Yeah. I just had a vision of the future of that show, and it was total chaos.
Hey, man, but it was an honor to have you here. Can't wait to have you back. Don't go anywhere. But all you badasses, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. You can listen to this on Spotify as well. And hey, check the link in the description box below. You can follow my man here on his filmmaking journey. Lots of awesomeness on the way. I cannot wait for the project with Marco coming out. It's going to blow everyone away. I guarantee it, because this man is extremely talented. Buy Battle for Cipon. Get it on Blu-ray. Get 3 days in Malay. Keep supporting martial arts and action cinema and horror, baby, because that's what this channel is all about as well. All right, Brandon, don't go anywhere, but I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.